Hello, welcome to Akulmag Business Channel. And today, in this episode, we are discussing about one of the greatest Rishi of Indian subcontinent, and maybe we can call him greatest mathematician of the world. Now, he is also known as astrologer. From ancient India, and the main composed the text which related to the maths and with astrology is called Siddhant Shurumani. They have four parts, and which is something like Leelavati, Bij Ganit, Grih Ganit, and Gol Adhyaya. All these parts of mathematics is deals with the algebra and arithmetic, and also related with the planets and the motion of planets and the sphere. So even in modern era, we consider Newton as who has discovered the gravitational force of the earth. But many years before, Bhaskaracharya, who knew the mystery of gravity and revealed this to the general public. So let's discuss about him and find out what he has to say. Well, we have no detailed information about the life per se about Bhaskaracharya, and a few information is given in his shloka, and it is said in couple of his verses that Bhaskaracharya was a Bhatta Brahmin, and he belonged to Chandelier Gotra, which is considered as one of the very nice, very profound Gotra in India, and he was resident of Vid, which is Sahidri region in India, and he was very popular with his teachings, with his mathematical know-how, and it is said that at the age of 69 he wrote Gol Adhyaya, and that where he described the planetary motion. So it is clear that he lived a very long life, because he also mentioned that at the age of 36 he wrote all these mathematical books, and it is also said that he had a versatile personality, because apart of being a mathematician, he was a great poet, because he has come from a lineage of people who were a great poet, and they were recruited in King's Palace for their contribution. And when we talk about Bhaskaracharya, who carried forward the ancient scientific knowledge, and that satellite which is launched on 7th June 1979 was named after him, and it was called Bhaskar 1. And at the same time, 20th November 1981, the second satellite was also named after him, which is called Bhaskar 2. So let's talk about his contribution, which is really immense. And Bhaskar was an original thinker. He was the first mathematician who said confidently that number when divided by zero become infinity, and the sum of any number and infinity is also infinite. So this is the concept which is given by Bhaskaracharya. As an astronomer, Bhaskar is very famous for his concept of instantaneous motion, and that helps astronomer to find out the exact motion of the planet. In algebra, Bhaskar considered Brahmagupta as his guru, and he mostly extended his work, and he adopted Chakraval method to solve the algebraic equation, and it is important contribution of Bhaskaracharya, because 6th century later, European mathematician also discovered his work and called it as inverse cycle. For the first time, this book was described and finding of the area and volume of the hemisphere with the knowledge which these European scientists got from Bhaskaracharya's work. And some of the important formulas, theorems of trigonometry and details of permutation and accumulation were also found in his work. He was first to use arithmetic operation in irrational quantities. His best contribution to maths is comprehensive solution of infinite and exponential and square equation, which is invented by cycle method. So this is something maths which even today we calculate and use these formulas. Let's talk about his contribution in trigonometry and calculus. The Bhaskar also known as I told you, a knowledge of infinity, and some of the sutras of calculus also find in his work. And he named the differential of function as instantaneous motion, and proved that sine q is equal to cos q into dq, which is the formula which is used in trigonometry. And Bhaskar also called as the founder of differential mathematics, and he conceptualized the several centuries before Isaac Newton, and both of them are considered to be founder of the subject. But very few people know that the differential coefficient and role theorems are also given by Bhaskaracharya. Then 8th century, 800 years before the birth of Newton, we were discussing, I mean, we means that we Indians, because Bhaskaracharya belongs to India, and we were discussing the law of gravity, and he wrote a book which is called Gol Adhyay, and here we discuss about the mechanism of gravitation, and he is the first person to explain the decimal system sequentially. So that is something which is very profound, and there are so many commentaries on this subject. In many languages, this is being translated later after Bhaskaracharya already done this creation and already mentioned in his book. In Jyotpad part of the Gol Adhyay, he says that sin bracket close a plus b is equal to sin cos plus cos and sin b in describing the following many of the verses, we are talking about the trigonometry. Bhaskaracharya has important work on calculus, and even today we are mentioned, we do use calculus theories and calculus calculation based on Bhaskaracharya's work. So now let's also talk about little bit about the astronomy, because there's a great contribution is done by Bhaskaracharya in the calculation of planets and their position. Then Bhaskaracharya gave the exact value of many astronomical quantities. For example, for the first time, Earth is revolving around the sun, and he has already mentioned in his book, which is 365 days, 0.2588 days, which is kind of 3.5 minute difference as per the calculation of modern scientists. So the principle of Bhaskaracharya also considered to be composed of two parts. First part is of theoretical astronomy, while the second part is of about the planet, or we can say about the spheres. So, and that all is mentioned in the Gol Adhyay, which is written by the great scientist Bhaskaracharya, a great mathematician. According to the ideology, Bhaskaracharya also believed in the geocentric theories, and he also said that there is a gravitational force of Earth, and he in around 13 to 14 verses of his creation is one of the book. He also mentioned the the small part of circumference, which he says, when he says that when earth is round and there is a circumference of the earth, but when we see from eyes it appears flat, and that is what is mentioned in the book which is written by Bhaskaracharya. So even in the modern science also we take up these formulas, and he also written one of the very basic value. He says that the diameter is around 1581 yojanas, and as per the 5-mile plan, this is a correct evaluation of the value. Now, going forward, I would like to really discuss about the lineage, and as I mentioned earlier also, that he belongs to a very profound lineage, because most of his ancestors were appointed by great kings of that time, and he belongs to I mean, people who were astrologers, who were poets, and that kind of skill is always visible in one of the creation, which is Leelavati, and this is a profound book, and I strongly recommend to really go through this book Leelavati, because this is a combination of not only the mathematical equation but also the poetic expression of Bhaskaracharya. His all these details is been given by his grandson, and he was appointed astrologer is one of the king called Singha in Maharashtra, and his grandson's name was Cheng Deva, and his father's name was Lakshmi Dhara, who was also a court pandit, and he comes from the lineage of Trivikrama, who was renowned poet of his time. So this kind of a combination we really find with Bhaskaracharya's lineage. Now, it will be very interesting to discuss about his writing, because as I was telling you that Leelavati is a text which is written by Bhaskaracharya, but it's in a poetic expression. Now, before I come to the book, I would like to tell you that this Leelavati was the name of his daughter, and according to the horoscope, it was prophesied that Leelavati will not get a happiness of marital bliss. So Bhaskaracharya loved his daughter very much, and with lot of pain and lot of calculation, he determined one single day and time for the marriage ceremony. And that one day Leelavati was all dressed up, and she was asked to stand near the hourglass. In the olden time there were hourglass with the sand, so she was asked to stand and watch the time, and when that particular time will come, she has to come for the ceremony of marriage. And what happened is, she was standing in front of that hourglass, and unwittingly one bead of her necklace fall into that hourglass, and that she was not able to calculate the time, and the auspicious moment passed by without notice, and she was not able to really go and go for the marriage, and thus she was not married lifelong. So Bhaskaracharya wrote Leelavati Trustees to keep the memories of his daughter alive, but at the same time it's quite a unique book because it deals with the mathematics. All mathematical problems in Leelavati is described in a very engaging puzzles, and it is unique due to its poetic value, and the presentation, which is very charming. And for example, one of the puzzle which I would like to share with you, it says in one place, it said that there was a colony of bee. 1/5 went to Kadamba tree. Kadamba tree as the name of a tree, and 1/3 of the bee went to Shirendra tree. 2/5 were roaming around the Putaja tree, and then one was just moving around. One bee was moving around and attracted by the fragrance of ketiki and malti creeper, and she was moving here and there. Now find the total number of the bees. So such an interesting way to really present a mathematical puzzle. So I am not. I feel that I should share more puzzles like this. So I just want to share one more instance that it is said that in the form of shloka, and it deals with the right angle triangle, and he says in the description that a foot of 9 cubit hole was a snake burrow, and the perched on the top of the pole was a peacock, and peacock gazed fall on the prey, which is snake, where the snake was at the distance of 27 cubit from the pole. Now darting forward with the same speed as snake, what distance from the pole did peacock watch the prey? So, and all this description is there in Nilavati, and it's a very beautiful book presentation of mathematical puzzle, and everybody should really go through at least once in lifetime. It's really amazing. That's I wanted to share the kind of contribution Bhaskaracharya has done with the maths and with the astronomy, and he has written gravity of Earth in Siddhant Shurmani, as I was telling you, and there are many more books which need to be actually introduced in school, so that children should read about his contribution. He also composed one book which is called Karan Kautuhal, which deals again with the maths, and he is considered very important mathematician of medieval time. And it is also said that he was also appointed as a president of observatory at Ujjain. So I've already mentioned about the written document which is there in the form of his four publications, four books actually, and then at the age of 69 he wrote Karan Kautuhal, which is again a calculation of astronomy. So just going through his work or his mathematical presentation in the form of puzzles, in the form of how the calculation of Earth and a planetary system, I really want to salute him because the kind of contribution he has done in the maths. And do you know that his work is first translated into Persian, and from Persia it was translated by European scientists, and that work became the key of European Renaissance later on, as you know about the European Renaissance. So this is a great Rishi of India, Bhaskaracharya, and I would like to salute him, and I strongly feel that his work should be introduced at a young age in the schools, and somebody who's doing math as one prime subject, he should really go through this his work and understand how he has presented maths in a very beautiful and charming way. So this is what I would like to tell you about this great Rishi. I will be meeting again, and I strongly believe and I look forward for your comments. I believe that we will go through his work and know more about this fascinating Rishi of India. So till then, bye bye, and you take care.